Hello and welcome to the Watson Weekend. We are your hosts. I'm Rick Watson.
Hey, it's Jessica Liseski, and we're here again, Rick. Friday, it's weird. It comes every week. I don't know how it happens.
Every week there's a Friday, and every
That's
week
right.
you are forced to listen to us. I think. Are they forced?
No, I think they like it. Otherwise, I
Yeah,
mean, we do pay a couple of people. It's
exactly.
it's called seeding. It's a good strategy.
It's eating. This is your weekly dose of medicine with just enough sugar to make it go down well. The Watson Weekend is your weekly dose of technology, e-commerce, and retail news to keep you informed and happy. I don't know. Something else.
Yes, it is. I find there's lots of laughter and joy. Maybe it's just us laughing at ourselves. We
Correct.
think we're funny. We're not professionals at this, but we are getting there very, very slowly. Only
Yeah.
time will tell.
Yeah.
Not to celebrate. We did 50 episodes. Like we're now at 52, 53.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can we do a golf clap for that one or something?
Proud of you.
Yeah,
And heart.
it's so great. I mean, just a reminder, 50 episodes. Now we're official. We're sponsored by Mirakl. Mirakl is a catalyst of commerce. We know that commerce is changing at breakneck speed, but if you play by the rules of retail's past, you're leaving money on the table, and a lot of it. Mirakl empowers 450 retailers to successfully flip the script and transform their businesses by creating a flywheel. Flywheel goes in a circle of AI-powered marketplace and retail media solutions. What's stopping you from joining? So thank you for Mirakl for joining
Thank
us.
you, Miracle.
We're gonna see them. They're gonna do a summit. I think it's the week of commerce next. I'll be out there for that, so that should be fun too.
Oh, that'll be so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of activity. I feel like I get there's an announcement every 2 weeks about something that Miracle is helping unlock. So it'll be interesting to see what's going down. So we have got a very packed show today. This is it. This is the social commerce episode you have been waiting for. We can't wait to introduce our guest, Josh Carter. Josh and I have worked together, and he is so much fun, but extremely knowledgeable. I learned a ton working with him. So we're excited to unpack that a little bit. And we're bringing back two truths and a lie, Rick. So get ready to get stumped.
Yeah, I'm 100% I will get stumped. And so I'm looking forward to that. A reminder, everyone, we are a live show. So if you want to type in where you're viewing from, anything you would like us to cover as we talk about social commerce, marketing, earned media, the role of all these things in the future of brands, we're excited to unpack this with Josh. So
Yeah, I can't wait. So, ready to dive into some headlines. Our friends at Saks, it's some dark days
oh,
happening there.
Saks, oh my gosh, Saks. What do we do with you? We can't live with you. We can't put you out to pasture. They're such a big force, yet they figure out a way to seem like screw up their business every year. We recall
Mhm.
a couple of years back, in 2020 exactly, they split their e-commerce business from their physical retail business and then came up with like 400 different agreements between the two parties. Most recently, they bought Neiman Marcus at the end of last year for over $4 billion. That acquisition just recently closed. Um, and on the back of that announcement and this massive agreement with Authentic Brands Group, who's going to license their name all over the world,
Mhm,
I'm not
mhm.
going to say they're going to whore themselves out, but you read between the lines. The other side is they're giving the big middle finger to their suppliers. Why don't you I'm going to break this down a little bit. It
Mhm.
basically says that you place an order on a Saks website that's fulfilled by a supplier or like they purchase merchandise from a supplier. Saks is not going to pay you until 90 days later. First of all, usually it's 60.
A
And
little bit
second
sooner.
is any past due announce, which there are a ton of past due suppliers in the last year
Yes.
that they're basically ignoring. Like if you're a small vendor, you're kind of up a creek. They are saying, "Oh, we're gonna pay you in 12-month installments over the next year, like 12 monthly installments over the next." Like, what the hell did I sign up for buy now, pay later without understanding that?
Yep.
What's going on with Saks?
Yeah, man, it has been financial struggles, as you called out, for a long time, and it really is baffling in the sense of for a while, luxury, really had been doing so well, but Saks was struggling. They've lost, spend from key markets like China, and, you probably saw the headline that was maybe it was 24 or 48 hours ago that they're gonna close the flagship store of Neiman
100% a
Marcus
flagship store.
in Dallas. This has been the icon, for that brand for so long. So, we're getting addition by subtraction, I guess, shutting down stores, not paying vendors. The reality is now these vendors have other places to go. So I'm just curious how long this can sustain, and is is this the Sears version, but in the luxury playbook? I don't know. Feels like
Yeah,
we're watching an
look,
episode of Dallas.
it can sustain like Dallas, that's a good one. Um, and, it seems like it could sustain as long as investors can sustain it, which seems to be a long time because it seems like they're giving the CEO a lot of room to run. Again, the options are diminishing. Farfetch, is on the struggle bus. They've divested. I can't figure out like My Teresa rebranded.
Yeah,
And so Neiman's is now no longer. Now you have Nordy's. They're not luxury. Um, Bloomies,
Amazon.
Bergdorf.
Amazon.
Amazon Amazon luxury. Lots
I'm
of
just
luxury
saying.
Fendi bags being purchased on Amazon.
Yeah, it's a Fendi-esque
Like
lookalike.
the Fendi-ish.
Fendi-ish, Gucci-ish.
All right, please put us out of our misery. Go to the
Okay.
next story, Jack.
Yeah, all right, I got you covered. So, Elliot Hill has, commanded that he is going to revamp Nike. Not really his play, but this has been in the works for a while, but definitely a big announcement because Skims is going to save what has been the downward trend of Nike.
Mm,
They are bringing celebrity back, but it's not just because it's Kim Kardashian.
mm,
It's a story of empowering women, it's bringing better merchandise to their floors. It
right.
sounds like that there will be a global rollout in 2026, so the world will have to wait a little bit, but this line will start hitting stores in spring. So it's just kinda interesting to figure out, we've had celebrity partnerships in the past. There have been, drops and collections. It feels like they're putting a lot of, cachet behind this,
Mm.
and expecting that it's going to help really reinvigorate the brand, in like a Adidas Yeezy way, or
Yikes.
but so yikes. But hey, like there was a time and a moment. So what do you think, Rick? Is this like the thing that's gonna get them on the upward rebound,
I
or
mean, look, they're trying to hope that looks. I think it'll give Skims additional distribution and maybe cachet with runners. I'm not certain that the cachet is going to go in the other direction. And frankly, I think Nike is the one that needs it. Look, at the end of the day, if Nike can't win like runners and basketball players,
yeah.
then they're in the struggle bus. So, how is Skims going to help either of these markets? I fail to see.
Yeah, I know. Well, look, the NBA is now sporting Skims, so don't count them out. This isn't just for women. They're attracting a male market as well. I agree with you, though. It feels like Nike's lost some of that heart, right? They had a strategy of going after golf. They were really critical in running. They had basketball really locked with Air Jordan and that collab. They've really lost some of that
Hmm.
momentum in all those different places and those different markets. So it's like, what does Nike stand for? Not really sure, but can't hurt them.
Yeah.
But I don't know that this is like the path to prosperity. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Put it this way. Could you see Air Jordan or Tiger Woods shapewear? I cannot.
Mm. No, yeah, that's true. That's true. So, it remains to be seen. Again, will be something we'll be watching very closely. You know, fun or fail, or fantastic or fail. I don't know. My words are not.
Find out.
We will find out. So, hit us with the next story. What's going on at Amazon?
Yeah, look at Amazon. Amazon is producing good earnings, and the management team is exhorting the team. They're like rallying the team to like produce even better earnings. And the reason is what they have a new slogan that basically says every penny counts. Like we're in a game of pennies. And so any penny you found to conserve and serve the customer better, take it out of our costs, we're going to reinvest it back in marketing and faster shipping, all like the whole Amazon flywheel.
Better customer experience.
It is in full
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
The challenge is, like, look, Amazon's recently laid off, like, a huge swath of its workforce with the infamously bungled return to office policy, which, by the way, pretty much everyone is bungled. It's not not kind of unique to them. The other problem is Have you ever in your entire lifetime seen anyone above a VP take a penny off of their salary while they're laying off over 5% of a workforce ever in your life?
No.
Not a single time. So these things are like, they sound great in theory, and like execs sound really great on camera on CNBC talking about these things, but it's just talk. This is nonsense, guys. Like, just don't even talk about like every penny counts. Just go do it. Like,
Yeah.
try not to pretend like
And that
contribute to it, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's different about this narrative is, they typically have been we're going to just go and execute, and they'll bring some things along the way. But this one feels like very in your face, and they're talking about employees need to share cost saving ideas.
Right.
If you are working on innovation and you're not thinking about how to get efficient,
Yeah.
you're wasting your time. I mean, it was very, very harsh narrative from a perspective of someone who, like, they don't really look at pennies, they look at, like, this.
Yeah,
Um,
Benjamins.
Benjamin's printing margin and AWS ads, and I think that's the thing, the runway still looks very promising for that, but, they're probably trying to get what's that next, like, margin just crusher for them, right? That's gonna
Yeah.
expand and grow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, Amazon is doing pretty well, and no one's gonna throw them a pity party. So
No.
they just doubled their operating income in the last year. Their earnings came in super well. Walmart just got good earnings, although, you know, investors always want more, and so
They
most of
do.
the reasons
We
why
never spend
stock goes down is because of guidance. And so I think he's trying to say, look, we're not done. Jeff Bezos was always famously saying the consumer is divinely discontent, and so we always need to be on our game. So that's all good. So
Yeah. Yeah, believe in us, we got you is basically the narrative. We can't stop, we won't stop. Okay, so that's our headline hangover. If you guys have stories you think we are missing and you want to hear our take because it's brilliant,
it's the best.
let us know. Yeah, let us know. Okay, well, we're going to get to our guest now. We've kept him waiting way too long. So I am so thrilled to introduce Josh Carter. He is not only a social and influencer expert, he's a friend of mine. We've had some great times on the road together traveling. He forced me out of my hotel room actually to watch probably one of the best Broadway shows we've seen. So he is a visionary brand marketing executive. He's got a passion for shaping cultural narratives and driving meaningful business impact. I can attest to that. He's got 2 decades of experience building reputation for and groundbreaking marketing strategies for many brands, including Ulta, Target, Shutterfly. He's done these amazing collaborations, and it's really fun to watch him work because Josh is different and like he's never out on his own with his team, like doing something that doesn't align to the brand and the business strategy. And he is so good at cultivating these organic discussions that just happen and bringing them into the brand story and the narrative. So I am very proud to introduce Josh. He's in Minneapolis with his wife, Sarah, their 2 sons who are adorable. So Josh, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I need to like have you just follow me around every day and hype that up, man. That's amazing, Jess.
I'm your personal PR train.
Bring it.
I mean that media training we've done with you before really has paid off.
It really has. As our
Really it's full circle. I feel like I'm just missing this like amazing podcast setup that y'all have. What the
I
heck?
know.
No,
Yeah.
no one prepped me to get
When you roll with Rick, the bar keeps getting raised. I mean, I keep asking him for my cool background, but I don't think I've made the cut yet. So
Happen.
it's not.
I feel like Rick needs to change instead of Saturday vibes or like Saturday Eve. It needs to say like roll with Rick. Like, can we change that headline?
I like it.
Maybe?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
Next week. Tune in next week. It's
Tune in next week. You're
Rick
going to see
Astley
lots of
coming soon.
changes, courtesy of the Josh Carter effect.
Put a Rickroll. Well, Rickroll in post production here.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought this was live. I thought
Yeah, no. We're doing it live. We are doing it live, guys. We're doing it live. Okay,
Yeah, we are doing this live. Yeah.
we are.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
So
thanks for having me. This will be fun. Are we gonna play a game? Let's do
yes, we're
something
gonna
fun.
play a game. We used to do this, and it kind of fell off the wayside, and so we're bringing it back because Josh, you've just got so many great stories, and we thought we could really stump Rick here. So I'm gonna give you, Rick, the breakdown of two truths and a lie, and I'm interested to see what your take is. Okay,
All right.
so for Josh, it's he's eaten cheeseburgers with Chrissy Teigen.
Huh.
He was almost on the Real World Las Vegas, or he was on an Abercrombie bag for their back to school collection. I mean, look at him.
Hmm. I'm gonna. So I'm just supposed to pick the truth.
Which one's the lie?
Oh, which one's the lie? Okay.
There's two truths
That
or a lie.
part.
So you could either pick the two.
I'm
truths or
gonna go with the Chrissy Teigen cheeseburger one.
is the lie.
Yes.
Am I supposed to like say right now?
That's what makes the game fun, Josh.
Oh, I'm supposed to tell you? Oh, I have eaten cheeseburgers with Chrissy Teigen.
Oh,
Yes.
Mm.
I feel like it was a Juicy Lucy actually, which is a Minnesota burger that has the cheese like in the patty. So yeah.
So it wasn't that Hairteen category.
That's a new term on me. I'll have to remember that one, Josh.
We'll get you to Minneapolis and you can have a Juicy Lucy. My lie. And do you want to take a second? 50-50 shot here, right?
I think there's some reason I think you were totally gonna be on Real World Las Vegas. So
I was close. I tell myself I was close in 2002 that I was. So that one's a truth. I was not on an Abercrombie bag in the 2000s. Although, there was many moments and I would go into Abercrombie and they're like, do you want to work here? So like in my head, I always thought I was on the bag. Just
You might have dodged a bullet there, Josh.
yeah.
Through the documentary.
do you walk around without a shirt very often?
Oh, Rick, this is a PG show. I felt like no, I love Abercrombie now. I do. I still do. I just
We
feel
talked
like,
about it.
I'm sure you guys have. It's like, but yes, that is the false. I did not do any modeling ever in my career for Abercrombie.
Even then next week, in Josh's version of this skit, we're gonna find out which one is the lie.
Let's keep playing. Let's keep going.
We could play this like the whole show, but we would then starve our listeners of your amazing knowledge. And we
Our
can't do
listener.
that. Our
I
listeners.
mean, we got to get back to talking about Skims and Kim K. I mean,
Yeah. What's your take on that?
First of all, I'll say two things. One, on social, the banter between Kim and Chris that day was so dang funny because she posted an aloe like jumpsuit. Kim commented and said you had to do this on the announcement of Skims and Nike. Like that was so funny to me.
Yeah.
I'm on board. I love Nike. I've always been a Nike fan. I think that it really helps them reach the new audiences. I think that everything that the Kardashian Jenner family touches turns gold. It does. And we know it. And I think they continue to take risks and they stand out and we're all talking about it. People know about it. Even from a male perspective, that when they launched their men's Skims collection, like it was sold out. Like there's demand. There's demand there. And I think even design wise, I do think that it elevates and modernizes some of the Nike designs in a way that they probably haven't done for a while, but I do think it's going to reach a new audience. So I'm team Skims Nike. I'm excited to see it.
Okay.
Love it.
Be good.
Do we think that Kim's using her legal degree to negotiate her own contracts? Just curious.
I don't know. Let's
Asking for somebody who
I'll give her a
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just like, I'm sure that contract is super good and easy.
airtight. Yeah. All right. So Josh, Rick has talked a lot about the 5 forces of retail, and marketing being king is one of the things that we wanted to unpack in this show with you from a lens of social commerce, all the things that are happening, because it feels like we're in this, we talked about being in this Darwinian moment where for a while we've been hoping that social had the chops to start overtaking commerce in a meaningful way. Instagram's failed at it, really, at the end of the day. Facebook hasn't been able to crack it. But with TikTok on the scene, it does really seem like we could create this ecosystem that we've probably all been waiting for that can start to overtake commerce in a meaningful way. So, just curious, what your take is on that. You've been early in TikTok and tested lots of things there. Do you feel like TikTok is going to be like ready to do the WeChat thing where it's a controlled walled garden ecosystem and people do a lot of different things there and they never really leave?
I mean, the number of times that the app tells me to go to bed or do some work instead of scrolling, I think if they can continue, the answer is yes, I do. I think there's so much uncertainty still, obviously, with what will happen with TikTok. I personally don't think it will be going away.
No.
I think it'll evolve. I think the biggest, this has been discussed forever and ever and ever. Like whether you believe in social e-commerce or not, social e-commerce will always be a part of it. I think where people are really afraid is that social e-commerce doesn't have to be the direct click in the social platform to drive the sale. And I think
Yeah.
I'm a brand awareness guy. Like I still believe that there is an idea of entertainment commerce is really what I think it should be called. And I think right now in this world, I feel like the happiness, the entertainment, the discovery is what people want. And like we distract ourselves here. And, I don't know if I'm on board with live shopping. Like I'll tell you that. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot. I mean, Jess, you and I have done some live shopping together. Like, it's hard work. And like the audience, like who at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday afternoon has time to really sit there and do a full shopping experience? Like, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
I just feel like I think those social commerce, um, it is where we discover the coolest, newest things. Like I'm a hat guy. I don't have hair. So like I find all my new hats and I am all about the D2C new hat brands. Like this is a Stetson, a tried and true.
Yeah.
And but I don't discover this hat from Stetson on social, but all the other hats in my closet I do. And so I think it really has to do with these the challenger brands.
Their content is so damn boring.
I think it's beautiful because I'm a hat lover, but if you're not a hat lover, you're not discovering it that way. So I think these challenger brands can really emerge on social in new ways that can drive the commerce. And that, people are scared of TikTok shop. And it gives creators this marketplace for them to really build their brand, to make some cash. Everyone needs a little cash.
Yeah.
It allows people to truly authentically tell their stories. And Amazon does do interesting programs like their Amazon affiliate influencer program that really gives these people the opportunity to make money and talk about brands that they truly love. And that's what social commerce means to me.
Yeah. Well, you've always been really good at like balancing that organic discussion and narrative and uplifting that versus it feeling forced. And where are you seeing brands get it wrong today? Where are you seeing brands get it right today in having these organic conversations with customers versus like, I've got to make something go viral. Here, let me get this playbook ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, that could be broken down in a few places. I feel like it starts with I think a lot of brands break down in their brief. They're not listening to what the customer actually wants and they just think it's a great idea. And because their competitor did it, they should do it too.
No.
So I think going back to customer data to actually figure out what they care about, where they're shopping, what they're shopping. I think brands break down when they tell too many stories or they focus on too many products. I think it's like there's some heroes that can get people in the door as a new customer, and that doesn't mean they have to be a loyalist forever, but gets them into that first purchase. And then from there, making sure that your full integrated marketing support really goes back to them and hits them back and reminds them to purchase again. I think other brands is they don't know, they don't trust themselves and be brave. I don't say take risks. I say be brave. And I think a lot of brands need to be brave right now. And I think you can even think about the Skims Nike example. That's a brave partnership. Like it's brave. And I like it. And I think that that's where brands are going to win this year and beyond is those that are brave. And it's not the mechanics of how social works. It's the content, the stories, and the customer at the end of the day that really matters in social, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think brands are timid. I totally agree with you. And I think some of that is, everyone, all the GMs are comped on a year-over-year thing. And so if you do something different than last year, then you don't want to comp negatively. And so there's no incentive to be brave. There's also like the people that they're reporting to are kind of like marketing is sort of like sacrificed on the altar of ROAS, which is doesn't have anything to do with brand building.
Right.
And so as a result, you're not trying to be memorable because being memorable isn't going to drive the purchase right then. And I think so many brands just lose sight of that. Like just the idea that you need to gain trust and to be relatable and help the consumers see themselves in your brand, kind of in both directions. It's like a conversation, those things.
Yep.
100%. And like discovery, like, and we're talking about, shirts and hats and t-shirts and everything, but the social commerce thing is the trend of like what Chili's has done or what the influencer community has done with the cheese pull over a mozzarella stick for the trio or whatever the heck it's called. It's like, I want to go to Chili's, y'all. Like, I'm thinking about like this weekend. It's right. Do the cheese. I want to do the cheese pull, but you can't buy the cheese pull on TikTok.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
remember that. And I have a feeling that that was built in customer insight that truly made that shine. It started to become part of marketing. And that's why when I think about consumer insights right now, social is the place. Like if you as a brand haven't gone and checked out your brand on Reddit to hear what people are saying about you, get in there because you'll learn. You'll learn what they like, what they don't like, how they're trying to break through the system, how they're trying to find product that might be sold out that was a limited edition item. They're trying to find out what the other cool kids are doing. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's a little bit of what I think leaders in organizations forget that social commerce doesn't mean the direct one-click shop experience and how you actually do that and then full funnel it through the rest of the marketing funnel.
Yeah, it feels like we're impatient. It always needs to have a return right now, and it's kind of an interesting dynamic because when you say be brave, does that also mean be controversial?
Or absolutely not. I just think we just have to celebrate taking risks in social. Like,
Yeah.
the cheese pull idea, or you think about it might be taking a risk on an influencer that you didn't think your brand would typically work with. But if you can find how it ladders back to the strategy, it makes sense. Be brave with your casting. Take a risk on the content you're producing. Push your teams to try something they've never tried before. I really love focusing on first best only kind of ideas that really coming to market and being first out of the gate and trying it and doing it the best way you possibly can. And I think that's so, so, so important. And I think brands need to really feel confident in their brand strategies.
Yeah, I think this also allows brands to be comfortable constantly reinventing themselves. Like over a number of months and years, then people start perceiving the brand to be fresh. They're like, okay, this didn't work, but 3 months there'll be something else. And they're trying as a result. Like on the other hand, you have like, before when Donahoe was there at Nike, what were they doing with the shoes? They were like, not much is the answer.
Yeah, but
They're pulling out of stores, and frankly, somehow that tanked their sales. I can't figure out why.
we don't need distribution. We're so cool. People just find us and know us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But you do make a point. It's like we're so cool, people just discover us. I mean, that is somewhat what happens. Like,
Yeah.
I think brands get unexpectedly found out because a really great influencer authentically tried it and loved it, and that drives your social commerce. And sometimes you can't quantify that unless you have some really strong tools in place and larger teams and resources. But a lot of brands don't have those resources and the money to put towards that. So you have to trust your teams that you're driving interesting entertainment commerce and actually to
Yeah.
drive your products. And you know, I think when you think about what you push out for content, sometimes it's a product that is so unexpected that actually drives a lot for you. And it's not always the product priorities. And so, you gotta reach your customer where they are to really figure out how they take over commerce for you.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of go back to the two iconic campaigns. You go back to like Beats by Dre taking over the Olympics in China or something like that, or like the way Canada Goose came to market with taking over like studio sets in Canada for like the set crew. Like,
yeah,
who would think like a set crew at a movie is an influencer audience? But that's like a super interesting idea, and I don't think the brand came up with it,
Probably not.
right? But
Yeah.
the idea is that you make a great product, and then you can start to amplify what's going on, as you mentioned, like in Reddit or like wherever you get that inspiration from.
yeah. So TikTok's on this tour, if you will, to kind of make sure they do preserve their future, right? And so I don't know if you've seen like the TikTok economic impact, and they're starting to do ads on how they're driving small businesses. I do believe there's truth in that, but they're saying things like half of small business owners say, TikTok is giving them reach. It's an 88% increase in sales before they had from before when they had products on TikTok. what's your take on the SMB, like, or, small to medium-sized businesses, Josh, and, like, they don't have all the resources. Like, are you feeling like that puts them at a disadvantage, or do they have something that big brands don't have, which is, like, they can afford to take a lot of brave risk or do different things?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit is like the spend for you to what we call allow list an influencer, which is basically put money on their channel through an influencer partnership. That those type of tactics in your strategy start to really elevate the work bigger, and bigger brands do have more money to be able to do that. But I think that there are some brands that you get your product into the hands of an influencer, it can just go on its own, and that is a cheaper way for you to get there and get a stronger return on investment, of course. I think people wanna support the SMBs right now because that is where we are as a country, that we want the underdogs to win. We really do, and that's whether that's shop local or whether that's, you know, all of those things. We also, from a content perspective, wanna hear from humans, and I think you'll start to see a shift that even smaller influencers, like true like me with my 2,000 followers on Instagram, that people will care about what I'm doing more this year, I think, in the years to come than people who have the giant numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there's not a place for them because I think most certainly there is. I just think the objective of the different types of voices in social, and that could be in YouTube. I think YouTube will be big this year. I think short-term video on YouTube Shorts, people have jumped over there because this whole TikTok thing has happened.
Yeah.
You can't forget about it. But then when you think about direct shopping on YouTube, it's not where it's at on TikTok or even Meta. So how do you continue to do that? I think in ways that really break through, and I think small brands do need to figure out their platforms, and it's not a one size fits all. And you probably have one person running all social. You can't do all the channels, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Really prioritize your channels and use your customer data to show where you have most growth. Again, not every piece of content needs to be a sales driving piece of creative. Like, depending on the stage of the brand or the company or the retailer or whatever it is, it's all different. It's not a one size fits all. So we can listen to all of this, but at the end of the day, TikTok made me buy it goes across all platforms regardless. So don't
Yeah, and
people need to
yeah,
not
I
forget
I tend to agree with you. Every piece of content can't be a sale inducing piece of content. I also think you can go further in that if analytics is driving your boat, then you're taking the wrong point of view. Like, you should pay attention to your analytics. You should pay attention to what's hitting the cash register. But if you don't have someone who owns the soul of your brand, then you've kind of already lost, because then you're a slave to, like, oh, that campaign didn't work. We're just going to cut marketing
Right.
because it's not
Yeah.
working, rather than take the next risk. You're like, oh, this was like, didn't work out, but it was really the right vibe, but it was the wrong product. Like, so you can actually iterate and improve. Like,
Right.
and God forbid we actually do that anymore.
Well, and being reactive is the other part of it. Is like you may not know that that's starting to spike, but using social to drive your social commerce and pulling products that are really popping in social and pulling them into email, moving the products around on your site because they're popping and really trending on social is that's where I think people will continue to win. I think people need to remember that social, although it's fun and entertaining, it can help reduce the friction of a shopping experience. Like it to click save, the power of a save or a share on Instagram right now. I mean, my wife and I go back and forth. It's like, hey, the boys, we should do this for the Easter basket, or this is what we should do for Valentine's Day for the boys. And like, we pop them back to each other, and then we click and save, and then we go through our save list
Yeah.
to determine what we buy for those moments. So I think that, I mean, my wife does the same thing as me, so, like, maybe we're anomaly to how people do this, but I would just say the point of, like, shopping, to your point earlier, Jess, of, like, long-term shop. It doesn't have to be an immediate purchase because I haven't got time to finish the Easter basket until the night before, so I'll probably run on over to that retailer down the street to, like, get that, but I feel like people have to remember shop doesn't have to always mean immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that every brand can take this approach, kind of this like marketing reactive brave strategy, or does it require like reorienting your supply chain to be able to take more risks and turn things around faster? If you kind of look at like on one end of the spectrum, right? Like, not everyone's like this. Shein reducing like thousands of styles a week, stolen or not stolen. Like, that's your subjective opinion, I'm sure. But the reality is they're reacting to the market based on what people are doing on social, creating knockoffs. Not saying they're creating knockoffs, but basically that's what they're doing.
They are.
And they're releasing them while they're hot. Now, if you don't have that kind of supply chain, like, what's your hope here? Is it just to find the right influencer, or can you spin kind of what the merchandise you have into gold, or is there another approach, Josh?
I mean, yeah, I think sometimes we don't know from an inventory perspective if we can fulfill the demands, but I think we have to give them the tools and we need to lead them to discover us. And I think that that's the other thing is like giving them the option. Like I would never back in the day, I feel like you would always drive someone to that exact item. Like you would build a PDP page that has that 1 to 2 items that was in a social piece of content. You're now driving them to collection pages. You're driving them to discover more. If you like this, also get this.
Yeah.
Um, I also think people are really thinking about value. And if you haven't tried XYZ thing, you might want a smaller version of it or an intro version of it because you don't want to spend the big money to get the bigger version, right? People need to discover that. And so giving them options, I think is good. But you're right. I mean, teams do need to react quicker. How does inventory catch up quickly? I don't know if it's the Sheen model. I think that there's a time and place for Sheen, of course, but I feel like from an inventory perspective, you sometimes just don't know. And I think demand sometimes is not a bad thing. If you
Yeah.
if
It's okay if you sell out. Yeah.
as long as your message is like, "Hey, we love that you love this item. We're gonna come back to you, and we just dropped it again," which gives you another time to come back on the social and say, "You loved it so much, we brought it back." And I think there's something about that people really like.
Or
You know,
even
using
that's
so small.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, for 10,000 sold, 20,000 sold, or sells out and has sold out in 5 hours. So you don't want to miss this. So you can use that to your benefit, right? To create that FOMO along with social proof.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So we talked about Nike and Skims, and you've had a lot of experience with this, and we've seen different scenarios where a brand like Solo Stove will partner with Snoop in a like last ditch effort to like save the holiday sales, and it doesn't work, and then the CMO is fired, and all the things happen. But do you think that where is there like the right time and place for celebrity, and where does it just really fall flat?
Mm. I think that's like the $1,000,000 question, right? I approach any outside voices in a tiered approach. Like I think a celebrity can help carry it to build awareness and reach new followers. We saw Super Bowl. Super Bowl was full of Twitter disclaimer and like
Yeah.
for me, I felt like it was one of the bigger celebrity moments, which I
Like,
thought was
with
crazy. Yeah, I was like, "What the heck?" There's so many celebs. I think if you do it right and it's unexpected in the celebrity department, I think is really interesting. I think, um, you know, there's so many brands that did it right, and I think it's about casting people that are relevant at the time, and I also think nostalgia always is cool. So, like, when you hit back on it and somebody and you what's it called in improv? Like a callback? And when you call back on something, I think that's super cool too, and I think the unexpectedness of a celebrity is really strong, and so I think that's where brands can win. But a lot of brands don't have money to buy
Totally.
big celebrities and then do an $8,000,000 buy, and then they do like a two to $3,000,000 production, whatever it is. There's sometimes easy ways to hit the celebrity, and that might be gifting them a product that a brand could win that they just want to try. And it takes time. And sometimes that's an easy way to drive some excitement and get the credit that you deserve in the celebrity space.
Yeah. Or, and you may not agree with this, but I have seen brands get scrappy, like especially in emerging apparel brands. And they're like, you like this look of this celebrity. Here's kind of how you can recreate this. And it's not necessarily a celebrity endorsed or it's even their product, but it's a look for less type strategy. And it's at least trying to play on style and bring that into their own experience.
I think though you have to pre-plan for some of these moments though. Like you need to align internally to say, hey, we're gonna do a celebrity moment and here's why. We'll figure out who it is as we get a little closer. Because you could look at what Calvin Klein did with Jeremy Allen White, and you could look at what Reformation did with Monica Lewinsky. Like there's interesting things that you bring in unexpected, but they still were relevant during that time. It creates the buzz. Does it sell the products? I don't know, but it creates this brand awareness and halo.
Right.
And then you have other brands jump on board with the Jeremy Allen White stuff for Calvin, and they did the whole away, copied it in social. Like celebrity drives conversation. You're seeing it with Kim and Chris. Like that whole dialogue drives conversation.
Well, I definitely think that people are buying Salesforce because of McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and they want their restaurant reservations and not sitting in the rain, and they wanna miss their flights. So, agentic, here we come. I think that's sold. I'm sold.
Sold. Sold. Look
Yeah,
at you. We don't. You got to go shopping.
you can sign $1 million agreement based on that commercial.
Yeah, it's 100%. Re-up, re-up. Charge me more, please. So,
Wait, what do you guys? What do you guys think about celebrity? Like, I want to hear from Rick. Like, where are you at with celebrity?
Yeah, look, I think most people don't need it. Most people can't afford it. These days, celebrities are so savvy. They're going to want to own the brand or own a big piece of the brand to be a part of it. Like, why? They have so many brands that they could do. There's either sort of like the passion project, like, I really love this thing, and so I want to support these guys. Or it's like, this is my thing. I want to own it. And so we're going to push out kind of the owner of it. So I think it's sort of like good news, bad news. I kind of agree with you, a point you made very early on in our conversation, which is like in the future, the 2,000 person influencer is going to have as much reach as the person influencer in some reason because it's more authentic. The influencer, is a little bit overexposed and is not so niche targeted, especially if you know who your customer profile is and like what message you're trying to hit for what product, for what reason, especially if it's brand building. I think just like in a movie, like some of the best movies you find are like these are no names you never heard about, but the movie just smashes because it's just so fresh and interesting. Like there's something about trying something new with a new person that you almost don't know you can fail. And so as a result, it's great. Because you don't know any better. Whereas with the celebrity, sometimes it can feel a little forced. Like,
yeah.
oh, another Snoop Dogg. Oh, like this is the fifth freaking Martha Stewart commercial on the Super Bowl. Not that that happened.
No, not absolutely not. Yeah. Well, hey, I want to round out because we're getting close on time, but we talk about like this, the team and the org structure. Like, who is in your mind your social media Avengers? Who is the team that you want to bring together that can really do this well?
Uh, Man. I mean, it looks different for everybody. What I'll say is, I think some organizations have the luxury of having large teams, but I think when they get too large, potentially you lose the agility to move fast and in real
Mhm.
time. I think teams need to have strong strategists within social that understand the platforms, but also can understand relationships to and content. I think teams need to have content creators in house, in my opinion, like true creators that you can give a product to and have it up within a couple hours. And I think
Mhm.
that's the brands that are going to currently win. So I would invest there. I would invest in your influencer teams. I think influencer and content creator will continue to shine with be the king and queen of how we get content done fast
That
and I think authentically. And then I think there needs to be strong partnership across performance marketing to make sure that the full funnel gets used in the way that it
Mhm.
needs to. I think social is not going away. I think you also need a strong data team. You really, really do, or one person at least dedicated that's looking at comments and data and pulling reports on a regular basis so you can move your strategy quicker. And I think, and then there's some amazing agency partners that can help you do some of the extension of the work. But again,
Right.
you can do this in your own team structure and build it in a way that's really strong. It's and then, working across integrated marketing as much as you possibly can to pull content from
right.
social into your work.
It does
And I
so
think
it does so well. So yeah. Just
well,
It does, it does. It's, like, way better than your static ads, right? It's
yeah.
you can take something that is working in social, even sometimes things that are created organically, and you guys did that so well. When we worked together at Shutterfly, you'd, like, find somebody doing something organically, "Hey, let's pick this up. Let's, like, turn this into something else. Let's get this into a piece of content, and then
Yeah.
let's get it in front of our performance marketing team, create ads around it." And now we've got, like, the next kinda thing that is helping drive either awareness, and a lot of times it was sales downstream, although, that ROAS story always kicks you a little bit, from.
I mean, it and how you use content. People want to be an influencer. Everyone wants to be an influencer in some respect right now. Give them the tools to tell your brand story. Yeah, at the end of the day, give them the tools. Let them sign up for your like. We didn't talk about affiliate. I don't know if we're running out of time. I don't know. I don't today, but like affiliate, like affiliate is
It's so true.
It is such a channel that's been around forever and ever and ever, and it's like, where can affiliate go within the social space right now? Because I honestly, everyone wants a side hustle. Like, if you
Yes.
touch social, everyone is talking about their side hustles. To do stuff within the affiliate channel right now for brands, you can make a crap ton of money just selling products of your own, being a 2,000 person follower on Instagram. I could make a lot of money doing affiliate if I have the time, like,
Right.
I think that it is a channel that needs more attention for sure.
I think you're just gonna get some AI bots to, like, start working behind the scene for you, boo. Like, we know TikTok's already playing around with AI avatars, so there's just gonna be mini Josh Carters everywhere
I love it.
selling things on the side.
I hope so. I hope so. That's the goal, is to have one of those bots come back onto the Watson weekend to tell you all about my successes. So that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, give me a few weeks. Give me a few.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, that way you can be in multiple places at once. Josh, this has been an amazing conversation. We so appreciate you coming out here. I mean, I think we didn't even mention the word earned media in our entire talk, yet we're talking about it the whole time. Um, how you get external trust validation for your brand and drive the conversation, like help fan the flames of the conversations that are organically going on. I mean, those are, I think super exciting directions
It
for
is.
most brands.
We will absolutely have you back, Josh, if you want to come back, because I think there's lots more stories to tell and unpack in like the social space. That's the best thing is it changes a lot. So it's always fun.
does.
Yeah.
It sure does. I'll start working on my next 2 truths and a lie.
Yes.
Can keep stumping Rick here.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
please. We need
Las Vegas. Next time we'll have to tell you how close you got to real world Las Vegas and why you think you got close. Well, that's for the next episode.
Sometimes I feel like I was supposed to be the Frank character. Are you guys remember Frank?
Yeah.
Because my application was quite boring, and so I was like, "Man, I need to step it up." But
Spice it.
next time,
Make it a little spicy. Yeah.
yeah.
There'll be YouTube shorts all the way. So
Thanks you guys so much. I appreciate you
Yeah.
being here. Thanks.
thank you so much. Well, we aren't letting you off the hook yet because on the Watson weekend, the way we break this down is we have a dance part
At the end of the show, here we go.
because we're ready. Hey, yes.
You didn't tell me about this.
That's right.